Hi dear kids, welcome back to our class. So now we are going to see about soil erosion. So what is soil erosion? So in the soil profile you must have known about the topsoil, right? Topsoil is the uppermost layer of the soil, right? So it is the fertile layer because it contains humus. So as it contains humus and it is rich in nutrients. So it is the fertile layer of the soil profile. So when this removal or the wearing off or carrying away of the topsoil, that process is called as soil erosion. So now let us write. So what is soil erosion? The process, so the process of wearing off, or you can write carrying away. So carrying away. So carrying away of topsoil. So your topsoil, the topmost layer of the soil is topsoil. So wearing off or carrying away of the topsoil. So usually how this happens? This happens because of strong winds and water and even by the human activities. So the process of carrying away of topsoil by the action of wind and water. So this process is called as soil erosion. So because of heavy rain or because of strong winds or even by the human activities, this soil erosion is caused. So once the moving away or it carries all the strong winds, water, running water carries the topsoil into new places, into any other places. So this removal of topsoil by the wind and water is called soil erosion. So now we will see how this soil erosion is caused. So as I already told you, so it is caused by the action of wind, water. So usually in many places like in deserts and in dry lands, so there will be strong winds. So because of the strong winds, the strong winds carries the topsoil and removes the topsoil from that place to any other places. So this is how the topsoil is removed by the action of wind. So you can see because of the wind, what happens, the soil that before it was like this, but after the what happens, after the wind, the soil is eroded, the soil is moved away, the topsoil is moved away to any new places. So by the action of strong winds, So next, by running water. So in monsoon seasons there will be heavy rainfalls, and because of the heavy rainfalls there may be floods. So because of the flood, the running water carries the topsoil, it removes the topsoil from that places and deposits it into the new places. So running water is also a cause for soil erosion. So running water, so heavy water or heavy rainfall. So due to heavy rainfall there will be running water, and sometimes mostly in the hilly areas. So in the hilly areas when there is heavy rainfall, the rainfall will fall on the hilly regions. Then what happens, the water will be flowing down. So the water flows down at a greater speed. So once it falls down on the greater speed, so it carries all the soil which is present here. So when the water goes down into the slopes. So when it falls into the slopes, so these water takes off more soil along with it and deposited in the hilly slopes. So thereby the slopes are not fit for cultivation. So we cannot grow plants, we cannot do any agriculture in the slope areas because there may be chances for soil erosion because of the high speed of running water. So running water is also a cause for the soil erosion. And the next one we are going to see is human activities. So human activities is also a cause for soil erosion. Human activities. So what are the human activities? The first one we are going to see is deforestation. Deforestation. So deforestation means, D means removal, okay, and forest, removing the trees. So removal of trees, that is indiscriminate felling of trees, so is called deforestation. So when we remove the trees or the plants, so actually the trees roots are fixed into the soil very tightly and thereby they are held the soil together. The roots of the plants or the trees held the soil together and thereby it prevents soil erosion. But if we cut all the trees, so there will not be any roots which hold the soil together and thereby there is a chances for soil to move off or remove from that place to any other new place, maybe because of the wind or water. So deforestation is also a cause for soil erosion. And then ploughing of hill slopes, P-L-O-U-G-H-I-N-G, ploughing of hill slopes. So mostly in nearby the hill slopes, so mostly in the hill slopes when we plough means loosening the soil. So before we plant plants or before we sow the seeds, we have to do the ploughing, right. So once we do the plough, what happens, we are loosening the soil and thereby there is a chances of this soil to deposit into the slopes. So that this is also a cause for soil erosion. So ploughing of hill slope is also a cause for soil erosion. And the next one, because of the overgrazing by cattle. So overgrazing, O-V-E-R-G-R-A-Z-I-N-G. So overgrazing by the cattle. Cattle means like sheep, goat, buffalo, cow. So once these animal grazes the plants, it eats the plants, it eats the grass, so thereby it removes the plant cover and thereby there is a chances for soil erosion. So now let us see in detail about this, right. So the first one, deforestation. So cutting down of trees, indiscriminate felling of trees is this is the cause for soil erosion. And the next one that we saw is, you can see once we cut the trees, we cannot prevent the roots to hold tightly, right, and thereby there is a chances for soil erosion. So this is about deforestation. D means removal, cutting down of trees, that is indiscriminate felling of trees is called deforestation. And the next one, ploughing of hill slopes. So once we plough, once we loosen the soil can be moved away from that place to any other new place or deposited or removed from that place. So that is also a cause for soil erosion. And then overgrazing by the cattle. So once the animals like cow, buffalo, sheep, goat, so they graze the plants or they graze completely the grass which is present here. So once we remove all the grass, so it will become plain soil, right. So then after, because of the water or because of the wind, maybe that topsoil can be moved away or removed away, that causes soil erosion. So overgrazing by cattle also a cause for soil erosion. So now we will see what is soil conservation. So soil conservation is nothing but how to conserve the soil from soil erosion. So the protection of soil from soil erosion is called soil conservation. So, soil conservation means the process of protecting soil. We need to protect soil. So, protecting soil against soil erosion. So, before the soil erosion, we need to protect that soil, isn't it? So, protection of soil against soil erosion is called soil conservation. So, conserving the soil. So, we can conserve the soil by following some steps. So, first one, afforestation. What is afforestation? AFFORESTATION. So, afforestation means planting more trees. So, planting trees. So, planting more trees is called afforestation. So, we need to plant more trees and thereby the plant's roots are fixed into the soil and they hold the soil tightly together and thereby it prevents the soil erosion. So, afforestation is the method that we can prevent soil erosion. And the next one, mostly in the agriculture places, so once the farmer after the harvesting of the crops, there is a particular gap between, they have the time gap. So, before they do another set of agriculture, so during that time the soil has to be conserved. So, what they can do is they can grow plants like fodder or grass. So, thereby they can prevent the soil erosion. So, the next one, growing grass. So, farmers can grow grass or fodder. Fodder means it is food for the cattle, and then so growing the grass, and then they can also prevent soil erosion from strong winds by planting more trees in the border of the soil, in the border of the fields, so around the fields. So, once they plant more trees or more grass, so they can prevent the soil erosion. And also we can also prevent soil erosion in the hilly areas by terrace farming, TERRACE, terrace farming, FARMING. So, terrace farming is nothing but mostly in the hilly areas you can see they will build in step like farming. So, once you do the terrace farming, the flow of water can be prevented and thereby we can prevent the soil erosion also, because as the running water speed slows down, we can also prevent the soil that is not getting deposited in a high quantity. So, terrace farming is also a method to prevent soil erosion. And then even the next one, it can be building embankments. So, EMBANKMENTS. So, now we will see in detail about this. So, the first one that we saw is afforestation. So, planting trees. So, once we plant more trees, so the trees, once the plants grows into the trees, so it has more amount of roots, thereby the roots hold the soil together and thereby it prevents the soil to be eroded away, right. So, afforestation. So, this method is called afforestation. The next that we saw is terrace farming. So, you can see step like farming in the hilly areas, mostly in the Ooty or Kodaikanal, when you can see the like this they have done the farming. So, because of this, so we can slow down the running water speed and thereby we can also prevent the amount of soil which is eroded along with the water. So, once the water is flowing down, so it may settle in one place. So, thereby we can prevent soil erosion that is caused in the slopy areas, right. So, soil erosion. And the next one that we saw is embankments. What is embankments? So, mostly in the nearby flooded areas, like nearby rivers or nearby lakes. So we have to build the embankments like this. So this is the, it prevents the water, running water that is carried away along with the soil. So when there is a running water, the running water may take up the soil which is near to it. So thereby it causes soil erosion. But when we build embankments like this, Tadippu suvar they will say, right. So when we build an embankments like this, we can prevent the water that can be taken along with the soil. So that thereby it prevents the soil erosion. So EMBANKMENTS, so building embankments is also a method to prevent soil erosion, right. So the next one, almost we have come to the end of the lesson. Soil is very, very important, not only for animals or for plants, even we also need soil. Without soil we cannot get the plants, we cannot somehow indirectly we are dependent on the soil. Because of the soil we can grow many plants, and we are almost we are eating the plant products, plant foods, right. Parts of the plants we are eating and we are consuming it, right. So we are somehow dependent on the soil. So and we have to conserve soil. So in nearby areas or nearby lakes also we need to do all those steps to conserve soil. So now children, after you watch the video, in the below description you can see a Google Drive link. If you just click it, you will get a link about the lesson materials, like your subject material notes that you have to copy in your science note, and you will get the question paper like your self assessment and question bank, right. So you will get, first you will get the subject material. So this is your copy of the subject material. So about soil you will get the question like about the soil. So the Romans that you get is choose the correct answer. So the answers will be given in your red color. So here we have also added some extra questions, your creative questions. So formation of 1 inch of topsoil takes around dash years. So that is not given in your book. So it is a creative question that is added along with the 1 marks. And also you will get extra Romans also. So you will get fill in the blanks. So match it is not given in your book. So match it is also a creative question that is added along with the notes. So you have to read all this. So after match it true or false. So true or false is given in your book, and then pick the odd one. Pick the odd one is also not in your book. So you have to read the pick the odd one, that is your creative questions that is added. So read all that and name the following. So name the following also, in the name the following also some questions are asked as a creative question, even your give examples. So in the give examples, in your book back you will have 1 or 2 questions only, but here we have added extra questions. So this is your creative question that is taken from your book inside, right. So after that you can see the 2 marks. So this is your 2 marks. So whenever you write the 2 marks, try to put the star and you can write. So after the 2 marks you will get the 5 marks. So this is your 5 marks, so which you have to answer like this very clearly. So after the 5 marks you will have the diagram. So you have to draw the diagram neatly with and color it with your color pencil or crayons, right. So hope after you do this, after you write the notes in your subject material or subject note, you have to take your question bank and go through the question bank. In the question bank the answer will not be given, the questions only given, and take your self assessment. So your self assessment is given for 50 marks, right, and do the self assessment, how much marks that you have taken, you have to take a photocopy and send to the WhatsApp group, right. So hope you will take a maximum marks. So in this lesson, so you learnt about how the soil is formed and what are the layers of the soil, and also you learnt about soil erosion and soil conservation, right. So hope this class was useful for you. Thank you children, have a good day.